Hello everyone. Last time we learned about the bacteria. Today let us learn about the use of bacteria, the economical importance of these bacteria. So actually it's module 1 of this chapter because you know what? Last time we learned about bacteria. Economical importance we are going to learn today. So today we are going to learn the use of these bacteria in the medicines. So are these bacteria always bad? Whenever we listen of bacteria, we think like, oh, bacteria, it's bad thing. But no, always these bacteria are not bad. These bacteria are also good. Okay, so these bacteria are of two types, good and bad. So bad are which they cause diseases and they spoil food and all they do. And the good bacteria are which can be used in medicines, farming, agriculture, industries and all that. So bacteria are also good. So let us learn about how these bacteria is used in medicines. So these bacteria are used in some kind of medicines like antibiotics, serums, vaccines, and toxoids. You must have learned, just listen these names many times. So let us now learn about each of them in detail. So what is antibiotic? An antibiotic is a chemical substance produced by a living organism which can stop the growth of a disease producing bacteria or fungi. So, when these antibiotic, let us understand this. It is a chemical substance produced by a living organism. This living organism is not directly used. Some chemical substances are always there in any body. In our body also there are many chemical substances. So same way in a bacteria or some living organism also there is a chemical substance. So this chemical substance which can make the growth of some disease producing bacteria or fungi which is there, if that chemical substance is killing all that bacteria, so this is used in an antibiotic. Whereas there are many examples like streptomycin, penicillin, tetracycline, chloromycin, mycetin, and all that. So let us learn some things. So first one is the penicillin. Penicillin is an antibiotic which has come from the origin Penicillium chrysogenum, which is also called as the mold fungi or formerly known as the Penicillium notatum. In the background, which you can see, is the fungi, that is the Penicillium notatum or the Penicillium chrysogenum. We say it as notatum; it's very short. No? So how was this discovered? In 1929, Alexander Fleming, what he did was, no, he saw that by some research he was doing. So we know that if you are doing some research, you examine something. So like this only, he was examining some bacteria which was producing disease and these fungi, Penicillium notatum. So what happened was, by mistake, he contaminated this Penicillium notatum in that disease producing bacteria. He was like, "Arey, now what I'll do this? Already the bacteria are made so bad. What will now happen?" But when he examined, he saw that this Penicillium notatum is killing that disease producing bacteria. And then he understood, okay, this is something what is happening to this bacteria, and this is killing this bacteria which is harmful for us. So now then he examined it, he did a lot of research on it, and now we have this medicine antibiotic, that is penicillin. So the next example is streptomycin. Streptomycin was also discovered by a similar way. By mistake, contamination was done by Selman Waxman, and this origin was Streptomycin griseus. Griseus is very important to say over here because there are many streptomycin bacteria. But which streptomycin you want? Streptomycin griseus. So let's just check these other ones. So this is a table from which we understand just examples of antibiotics we will learn about. First one, penicillin. We know source organism is Penicillium chrysogenum or Penicillium notatum. So this the disease treated by this penicillin is tetanus or diphtheria. Next is streptomycin, which is originated from Streptomyces gracinus. This can treat the diseases like tuberculosis. The chlorotetracycline is from Streptomyces family only, but orificeous. So that is why you need to learn these Streptomyces gracias, orificeous, erythraceous. All this you need to learn just because Streptomyces ka many families have different bacteria. So the disease treated by this chlorotetracycline is typhoid. Then the erythromycin is from Streptomyces erythracis. Erythromycin erythracis. You can learn it. Then this treats the disease like the rickettsial fever. So next, why is if some bacteria has to become antibiotic? Anyway, kaise bhi, so it is killing some bacteria, it has become antibiotic. No, it's not like that. It has some criteria to become a bacteria. It should have that criteria. It should be able to kill a variety of disease producing bacteria or the microorganisms. Means see, if it is killing only one kind of disease, then what's such means, what is the use of it? Only for one disease you're creating, so you are doing so much research, you are investing so much money. You will say, if it is treating some disease, why is there so much of problem? You should not. Then why it is so that you have to take all only one disease also it is clearing, it is good na. You should examine it. Of course we examine it, but for just for an safety side. Usually we use the antibiotic which is used kills a lot of bacteria, because then if we have the antibiotic which can kill all other bacteria, why do we need the antibiotic which kills some specific type of bacteria? So it should be able to kill a variety of disease producing microorganisms. This is called as a broad spectrum antibiotic. Next is that it should not produce undesirable side effects. When you have any medicine, there are two types of effect of it and side effect. Effect is a curing effect, and side effect is the undesirable effect that happens due to that medicine. Sometimes you must have heard about this. If you eat some type of medicines, you get you a lot of heat is released from your body, you get pimples on your face, your skin becomes oily, rashes come, or sometimes you feel dizzy, or sometimes you feel sleepy, or sometimes you faint like that. These are the side effects. You must have heard about these a lot of times. So if it is just to cure some disease, if it is causing some side effect and harm to you, that is not good, no? So therefore these are not used. Then it should not kill the normal bacteria of host. As I told you ago, that the body, always has bacteria. In our body also there are some useful bacteria. So these bacteria in our body actually do some functions. So if they are killed by these antibiotics, then what is the point? Those functions will not be taken. Then we are at fault. We are at loss. No use. So it should not kill the normal bacteria of the host. The next is the other uses of bacteria. Antibiotics. Is antibiotic only used as medicines? Of course, no. There are many other uses also. First is that they are used as preservatives, especially for the preservation of fresh meat, fish, and all that. The flesh is usually. Then it can be used for the treating animal feed. If anything bad is there in the animal feed, by applying antibiotics, that it can be treated. It is also used in controlling of pathogen in plants. Plants also have diseases and the pathogens in it. So to kill those pathogens, antibiotic is used. Antibiotics are used to treat or prevent some types of bacterial infections also. Next is the serum. What is the serum? Serum is the blood plasma from which the protein fibrinogen is removed. After removing fibrinogen, this is serum, which is important for us, and we can very well we can use it in medicines. Antitoxins. What are these antitoxins? Antitoxins are substance that is produced in animal body which reacts with toxins produced by the invading germs. So when this antibiotics is a substance which is produced in animal body itself. But when the toxins, which is the poisonous substance which is there, toxins are the poisonous substance. When they come by the invading germs, through them, when these toxins come, these antitoxins are produced which kill off these toxins. Now, how are these serums prepared? A small dose of bacterial toxin is introduced in a body. Toxins matlab kya we know? The poisonous substance. When this poisonous substance is introduced in the body, the antitoxins are produced by the body. That means when some invading germs are coming in the body starts making the antitoxins to kill those toxins. Okay, after that, several injections are given. This process is not very short. Of course, many injections are given. After that, we take the blood from the body. We know the blood containing the antitoxins. Now, these antitoxins are separated from blood, and a straw color fluid liquid is formed, which is called as the serum or the serum, whatever you call it as. Next is vaccine. Vaccine, you must have been listening this word from a lot of time, and you must be eagerly waiting for the vaccine coming up for coronavirus actually. But yeah, I hope it will come soon. So, vaccine, what is the vaccine? Vaccine is a preparation consisting of weakened germs or dead germs or living germs which can kill some, which can avoid getting some disease, or they can kill the invading substances coming in. The vaccination, what is this vaccination? Vaccination is the introduction of the germs. Okay, these germs, we all must have heard one thing. Sometimes you hear something from these parents that a poison only cuts a poison. If you're having some poison, if you add some poison to it, the poison has no use. Like that, you must have heard in integers also. You must have in maths integers, na, plus plus is always plus, but minus minus also becomes plus. So this is called something as vaccines also. This is something with vaccines also. Germs which are there in the body, if you add more germs to it, the germs die. So this vaccination is the introduction of these germs into the body so that it can produce or can develop a resistance to a particular disease. So how are these vaccines actually produced? They can be formed from the killed bacteria or the killed germs, which is also called as the. So this killed one ka example is TAB. You must have heard about the full form of it is typhoid and paratyphoid A and B. A and B is a type of these germs. Then it can be formed by living weakened bacteria, which is BCG vaccine is a good example of that, which is also called, the full name of it is Bacillus of Calmette and Guerin vaccine. Then the vaccine can be formed by living and fully energy virulent. These are this one of the example is the SARS vaccine. When a dog bites you, the SARS vaccine is used, and it is also the another example is the poliomyelitis. Polio, we know a dose of polio is given when you were small, and the DTP, that is diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, also called as the whooping cough. This is given. Just ignore those names aside, okay? Yeah. So these are the types of vaccines. Toxoids. What toxoids? Toxoids are inactivated toxins of a particular bacteria which can still simulate a production of respective antibiotics. So, we all know toxins are the poisonous substance. When these poisonous substances are inactivated, all the poison from them is taken out, when they are kept in the body, they can stimulate a production of antibiotics which will perform a resistance. This is called as the toxin. With this, we understand how these bacteria help us in making medicine. So, in the next module, we will be learning about the role of bacteria in industries and agriculture. So, for now, thank you.